In modern conversation, the title Son of Man often functions as a badge of humanity. It's frequently cited as the way Jesus of Nazareth emphasized his mortality and his connection to the common person. However, in the first century, this title carried a different weight. It was a claim to ultimate deity, serving as the most dangerous assertion a person could make. A failure to grasp the historical meaning of this phrase results in a failure to understand the highest-stakes legal standoff in human history. The origins of this ancient title reach back to the Babylonian exile. The prophet Daniel recorded a vision of a heavenly courtroom, presided over by a figure known as the Ancient of Days. The original Aramaic text reveals the phrase kabar-e-nasha, meaning one like a human being, approaching the divine throne. Yet he arrives with the clouds of heaven. Riding the clouds was a visual metaphor of sovereignty exclusively reserved for Yahweh. Daniel's prophecy created a specific legal precedent. It described a human figure who was explicitly granted indestructible divine authority over the cosmos. By first-century Jerusalem, this prophecy had become a central messianic expectation. During his midnight trial before the high priest, Jesus invoked this exact imagery. When asked for his identity, Jesus fused the visions of Daniel 7 and Psalm 110. He declared that his accusers would see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power, coming on the clouds of heaven. The high priest reacted by tearing his robes, a signal that the court understood the claim. Jesus had placed himself on the level of God. The crucifixion was the legal consequence for a man claiming to be the sovereign of the universe. This claim to sovereignty encompassed the past as well as the future. During his ministry, Jesus asserted his own pre-existence, declaring that he existed before the patriarch Abraham was even born. In the book of Revelation, the Apostle John records a vision that brings this identity into final focus. John describes a Son of Man who now bears the blinding white hair and eyes like flaming fire, the very attributes that Daniel had originally attributed to the Ancient of Days. This visual overlap suggests that the human cloud rider and the divine Ancient of Days are legally and essentially indistinguishable. Reconciling this human and divine convergence within strict Jewish monotheism requires an understanding of how ancient scholars viewed the Creator. This diagram illustrates the philosophical challenge, bridging the gap between the infinite, unknowable God, the Ein Sof, and a finite, material creation. Ancient theology utilized the concept of the memra, or the logos, the word, as the active force that mediates between these two realms. Jesus presented himself as the physical embodiment of this bridge, the active presence of God entering the world. Jesus mapped his ministry onto this existing architecture of Jewish theology, identifying the multi-personal nature of the Creator. The Apostle Thomas provided the visceral human response to this reality. After the resurrection, he addressed Jesus directly as, "My Lord and my God." Thomas's reaction suggests that the ancient, shadowy prophecies had reached their conclusion, revealing God in human form. The final scene on a mountain in Galilee served as the vindication for the claims made during the midnight trial. Jesus declared that all authority in heaven and on earth belonged to him. This statement fulfilled the decree from Daniel 7 regarding the establishment of an indestructible kingdom. The legal victory of the heavenly courtroom was now physically manifest on earth. This authority formed the basis of the Great Commission, including the mandate to baptize the nations. This text contains a specific grammatical choice. Jesus commands baptism in the singular name, not plural names, of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This command exposes the ancient mystery of the triune God. The Son of Man identified Jesus as the legal heir to the divine throne, bringing humanity into the divine presence as fellow heirs.